Because I need experience, so we need to get more levels. Freeside actually is probably a good place to start. So let's start cleaning up Freeside. And, you know, everyone lives, like, life choices, or they have their, everyone chooses to live their life in a different way, and I think that's fine, right? Like, for me, like, I probably have different priorities than, like, you, like, for you watching. There's things that I think are important that other people don't. And I think for, like, a good example, and again, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but, like, religion, like, for some people, religion's very important, and, like, that's, you know, the cornerstone of the belief system. Like, they devote their lives to religion. Whereas for me, religion's more just of a interesting conversation topic because, like, I grew up in an agnostic household, so, like, we just didn't really believe in that stuff. Hold on. I suck at finding stuff. We need to find the King's area. Not wander around aimlessly. Sorry, I get so distracted talking that I'm not really playing the game. Well, and, like... well, I was saying about, like, religion, like, for some people it's really important for me as a conversation. And I don't mean any disrespect. And I can imagine, like, too, like... I think our society's weird, or it's unfortunate, because I also think there's, I think there's, like, how do I want to say this? Sorry, I'm trying to think of how I can put this. I think for as far as, like, societal expectations go, we have, like... I think there's a lot of unfair expectations of women that they have to deal with that, you know, men don't necessarily... Can I get in here? Oh, that starts Pacer.
What do we have here?
So, for example, like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, you mentioned, like, you know, the concerns about, like, or like the comments you made about, like, your body or whatever. Like, it sucks as a society because we put a lot of there's a lot of emphasis on, like, women being perfect, like they should have, like, the perfect body, which already that doesn't make a lot of sense, because, like, how do we define perfection? But also it's like they have, like, these... I think in some cases, like, society treats women as, like, as objects. Like, I think we objectify women as society to a degree, and it depends where you go, right? Like, everyone's different, but I think in some cases we definitely objectify women because, like, we just see them as a sex object or whatever, which is, it sucks. It's terrible. Whereas, like, I feel like men don't receive the same treatment, and, like, again, like, for me, being a white male in, like, North America, like, I don't suffer a lot of hardship like some other people do. Like, I'm Newtown. I want to pay my respects. Let's do that.
You know what? I like you. Half the people around here,
but I think also, like, I want to be mindful that some people, like, and that's the thing that's frustrating about, like, I think reality is that people are treated differently based on, like, their sex or their race, which I think in an ideal world, like, we would treat everyone as equal. So I think basically well, I can't say, like, I've been there. I think it's unfortunate that women sometimes feel that pressure, and I don't want to imply that this is what you're going through, but I think for some people, like, they undergo, like, this pressure because, like, society has these expectations of them. And I think how I want to phrase myself is I think women can sometimes feel more stress from societal expectations than men do, and I think that's unfortunate. I think that's all I want to say.
Charge? Pace must be at it again. What did he take you for?
Nothing. I talked my way in.
Pace must be losing his touch. Either that or you're a smooth one. So, what can I do
That's
for
just
you?
it too. Like, I think sometimes you gotta be careful of talking, like, politics or, like, society when you're doing, like, streaming or, like, doing a let's play or something, because
Maybe so. You look like you might be-
because those are sensitive issues for a lot of people. Like, I think, you know, because they have real impact on people. Like, people are affected by this stuff every day. So I think when people, like, watch a stream or something of, like, someone playing, like, Fallout New Vegas, they're looking for an escape, which I think is completely fine. Like, they're trying to get away from, or, like, they're looking for entertainment, right? And entertainment, I must have missed him.
It's good money if you can stay alive long enough. Freeside's not as safe as it used to be. so the money is well earned.
what am I trying to say? So I think
Usually what
bringing in
they
like
do
political
is
issues or like
recently
sensitive
my
issues
man's
for
got
entertainment can be risky
bodyguards
business. Because on one hand, like
is making
for
a
me, like I
reputation
love talking
for
about this kind of stuff. Like I
He's
like
making
talking about like
killing repeat
politics, you know,
business. Once in a while,
religion, stuff like
you know,
that. But
everyone else.
I think for a lot of
Once
people,
you
that can make
find out
them
why, specifically
uncomfortable,
why
and
they
like
want
rightly
you to
so,
hire
right?
him.
It's a very
Play
serious.
the part of an innocent tourist and follow his lead. If nothing happens, so be it. But I'm guessing
Yeah, I'll
things
do
won't
that.
go so
I remember this
smoothly.
quest.
Call
But
me
for
Frank.
like
So, what do you
I think
think?
I'm getting tongue tied. I'm putting the card again. This guy's talking to me now. I'm trying to say things.
Okay then. Once you part ways, return
So I don't think it's unreasonable for people.
Take this.
I guess all I'm trying to say is that if people don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, I think that's fair, and I don't. And I think it's good to be mindful of that when you're doing stuff like this, because some people just they're not interested in that stuff. It's not more of an object thing here. It's more of a sexualizing. Like in one of my schools, we had a strict dress code, and boys were told to pull up. Were never told to pull up their pants. Blah blah blah. And the skinny girls were never picked up by wearing a skirt. But if I were wanted to wear a skirt, I'd be dressed code and inappropriate in knee length and supposed to be okay. Which kind of sad, because sometimes I wanted to dress up and look nice, but never. See, and that's what I'm talking about too. So, and I think this is where like I just had this whole rant about like, oh, you want to be sensitive to like, you know, people's opinions and stuff. And I think I'm gonna say something that might just get me in trouble, but like I feel like on one hand, it sucks that people get different treatment for, you know, like their body type or whatever. Like for example, like it's like, oh, only like the attractive girls can dress up, and like what would be considered to be unattractive, like they can't dress up, you know, either. Like I think that's unfortunate. Like I don't like that. But that being said, I think it would be dishonest of me, and I can't speak for society because I'm not all of society. It would be dishonest for me to say that I did not find slimmer women to be more attractive. Like that's just how it, like it's. Where is this guy? We need to find the right quest. We probably went through.
Hey, you're the one who's been going around helping people around here, right? The king says
Okay,
you
so let me
did
finish my
good
point.
work. He said to give you this.
Awesome, thank you. So, if you know, if I say like rate like 2 women based on like attractiveness, and we had like one morbidly obese woman, and we had one who was like, we'll just say like in shape. For me, I would find the one who's in shape to be more attractive. But then, that being said, just because society might deem one to be more attractive than the other, I don't think that necessarily means like we should treat them differently. Like, that might mean for me, for example, I might ask one out on a date and not the other because I'm not attracted to the other one. I think that's just being human. But just because someone's overweight doesn't mean I should say be rude or disrespectful for them. Like, no, I think I should always treat people with kindness and respect, no matter who they might be. Yeah, I was always thinking I always had bigger hips and breasts than the other girls, and that's why I always feel. Well, and that's just it, right? And like, and I think in your case,
If you need to cross
it's not that
someone will keep you safer than I will.
like you're overweight or anything. It's just like you have a different body type, and I think that's an important distinction too. I think basically like the whole thing about like women, like their weight and like their attractiveness, it's a multifaceted issue, and like there's different aspects to pull away from it. But then the other thing too is like I think you can have 2 women who are both fit, but they just have different body types. Like so, for example, like one might have like a more narrow face, and the other might have a rounder face, and they have no control over that. It's just that one has a round face, one has a narrow face, and like that's fine. They're just different. But because one has a narrow face and one has a round face, doesn't mean like, oh, we should give the one with the longer face preference, like, you know, better treatment. Like that's like the whole thing for like racism is like, because I might have white skin and I might have a friend who has darker skin, we're gonna treat the one with darker skin like less than humans. Like that, like he had no choice over that. He like it's just his skin color. We shouldn't treat people differently for something that they had no control over. And even then, like, why does it matter? How much for your services?
200 caps gets you my watchful eye for a trip to the South Gate. Done and done. I want to mention a few things up front. In order to ensure your safety, I need you to follow my instructions to the letter. We'll be heading down the main.
So and I think that's like, and that's why I say it's like a multifaceted issue, right? Because like on one hand, like there's like what you personally find attractive, and like some people are in like, you know, to use a different example, like some people are really into the dad body, others are like not so, like people have different tastes when it comes to people, but
Hey, you're the one
okay,
who's been
great,
going
yeah,
around
give me more
helping
stuff.
people around here, right? The king says to keep up the good
But
work.
then there's also like
Said to give you this.
we treat people differently too, just based on like it's a messy issue. Like for me, like I've never been a victim of that kind of stuff. Like people have always been like, oh, like Ryan exists. Like I've never been told I've been ugly or whatever. Like that just hasn't happened to me, so I haven't experienced that. But I can see the frustration.
Followers there will patch you right up. Not that I ever need their services.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the service.
Up ahead on the next block is where the king's at. Let them
It
scare
can be
you.
bought. It can be found at Nick and Ralph's.
All right, so I guess we'll go to the free side. And again, I hope I didn't really, you know, offend anyone with what I was saying. Like, that's just how I view things. Like, it's a complicated subject. Like, and you know, for me, my own personal beliefs, like, I just wish like there was a little bit more equality and just more tolerance in general, right? Like, just because someone's different than you, it doesn't.
Hey, slow down. I don't like the look of some of those men ahead. Let's take a different way around.
All right. Sure, we'll do that. And that's one thing I like about Canada too, is like we seem to be more tolerant of other people. Like, so for example, like I worked with a lot of Muslim people like in my workspace, and they've been fantastic people. I love that. But whereas like I just like it troubles me that we judge people based on appearances before we get to know them. And the thing is, like, I'm guilty of doing this too. Like there's some
Nothing to worry about. If you had hired one of those other hacks, you'd be up to your ass in lowlife right about now.
hey, you only fired 3 shots and there were 4 guys there.
Noticed that, did you? I keenly aimed one of the shots through some soft tissue.
Interesting.
Wanted them to hit the man behind him. That's an interesting theory you've got there. I'd suggest you keep it to yourself. Let's get moving. Stay close. Wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Oh boy. And what I mean by that, like, so for example, like, examine the body closely. All right, so they're all pretending to be dead. So like, I say that it's frustrating that people get treated differently based on skin color or whatever.
Well, here we are.
And like in an ideal world, we'd always treat them fairly. Like it's like, oh, like I don't care like who you are, how you look. I'm just gonna like have an open mind. But like for me, I can't say that I do that because I treat people differently based on how they look as well. And what I mean by that is like, so when I'm walking downtown and I see, we have some Aboriginal people downtown who they look like homeless people. And for me, I just don't associate with them. Like I actually go on my way to avoid them because I look at them and I assume, I make assumptions about them, right? Whether or not these assumptions are correct isn't the point, but like I do treat people differently based on like what I see, and I just, you know, I guess I'm admitting my own hypocrisy here. And I'll read your question. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. People have hated me when I had an accent. People hate me for not being from America. Yeah, and see, like that's, I don't like that. The fact that you came, like your parents may have not come from America, or that like you're different, like that you're part Muslim. Like, why should that treat you differently? Like, if anything, I've had great experiences with Muslims. Like in Canada, like we've had some Muslim people here at you know, where I work, and like they're lovely people. And that's the thing. Like once you get to know people, you might find out that hey, like they're decent people. I didn't like the way that came out. I really implied that I think lowly of those kinds of people, but no, it's just you just don't know. Oh, we weren't supposed to follow him back. Good grief, I am one distracted bear. Hopefully the commentary's been interesting, because obviously I haven't been delivering on the gameplay.
Hey, you're the one who's been going around helping people around here, right?
Cool, like they just keep giving me stuff. I like this. This is good. And so, and like it happens. People just treat it's just sad, you know.
It can be bought. It can be found at Nick
And because we have a lot to learn from these other people, like even like talking to people who come from like Iraq or Iran or whatever, like I've talked to them and like, you know, what